The point is, ladies and gentlemen, is that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, for knowledge, and greed, believe me, it's not only marked the surge of mankind, it's going to make you extremely rich. Thank you. Welcome, people, to an epic live episode of Savage Cash. Oh my god, we're so close. Bitcoin today, right now, is at 19,000, I should actually put K there, $19,400. It's less than a K from its all-time high. Should you be worried? As Bitcoin gets close to its all-time high, is that going to be the point where people cash out? Because people probably bought on the rise. Do you remember all that public money that came in right at the tail end of the bull run in 2017? Are those people going to start cashing out because they have broken even? If they've held this long, they've broken even. Should you cash out today? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. So if you are excited to have another episode, live episode with the Suppoman, then make sure that you smash up the likes. And as Suppo is an educator, then I like to impart knowledge onto you to help you make informed decisions. And then we will have a Q&A section at the end, as always. So let's just check that I am actually live. I am live. People are here. Good to see you all. BCAF Crusader, Galactic Woman, Lindsay Clark, MI8 Pilot, Christine, Pete B, Martin Whittold, Nash Dreamer's here, Lindsay Gardner's here, Canna Startup, USA Local, Martin, Paul Adamson. Fantastic. A nice little tribe here today. Only 8 likes. No, exactly. Smash them up. Karen Westgate's here too. Joel, Bud Snow, Finn, Antonio, Don King, Tiffy. There's loads of people here today. What the hell? Somebody goes, I am not live. Well, then why is it saying live right there? Right, people. We are on a mission today. Actually, it's more this. 19,400. But I will get to that very shortly. So currently we are seeing... I can't even get my words out. This is too incredible to actually fathom. The market cap is at an incredible 576 billion. It has massively spiked from yesterday. And we have got some great prices today. So Bitcoin, 19,000, nearly 400. Ethereum, over 600. Ripple is 64 cents. That has actually gone down. I think it was 73 earlier. Bitcoin Cash 340. Chainlink inches close to $16. Litecoin nearly $90. Polkadot, I'm surprised it's remained relatively stale. Cardano 16 cents. All you Cardano holders, thank me for telling them to stop dumping their tokens. Stellar, what a rise. 50%! Now, I have held Stellar since about October 2018 and I think I bought some in increments. And today, finally, a big payoff. If you are following me on Twitter, if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, get a Twitter account, follow me on Twitter. This is what I said today. This is what I've gained in 24 hours. In fact, it's increased since this point, because this was about 6 hours ago. So 78, this is pounds, by the way. If it was in dollars, it would be about $95,000. In the last 24 hours, that is what a diversified portfolio gets you. All these Bitcoin maximalists that say, just buy Bitcoin, all the rest of crap, a scam, blah, 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 blah. Well, whether that's true or not, you keep your investments in Bitcoin, you're going to make the odd, 10% on a daily basis, if you're lucky. But with altcoins being dragged up by Bitcoin, that is where you make the money, as you can see right here. So a diversified portfolio is what you need. You need your kings, your queens, you need your bishops, your knights, your castles, you need your pawns. And your pawns are your high risk. These are the ones that are the ones you can play with. Play with to get a position so that your king and queen are strong. And when you get good positions, you get more Bitcoin. right? So don't just go into Bitcoin because that is not where the money is. Bitcoin, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Bitcoin is wealth preservation and altcoins is wealth generation. You want to make the generational wealth, you've got to go to altcoins. So, anyway, it's Black Friday week, so it has to go with a mention that I've got 2 courses in well, in fact, most of my courses are Black Friday, but the ones that you would probably want to pay attention to are my Bible course, this one, the Cryptocurrency Investment Course 2020, the best one ever, 10 hours nearly, 10 hours of content. So if you haven't yet, make sure you get this. I uploaded lectures yesterday. And then the cryptocurrency trading course. If you are wanting to make those short-term gains, this is the one. So links in the description. Anyway, so let's have a look and see what are the best gainers. Verge. Yeah, Verge is a little bit like, and I do foresee this, is that these 2 in particular are almost like the penny stocks. A little bit like Cardano, I guess. But Cardano is more of a big deal. People who enter the market, newbies who enter the market, are going to be looking for how many hundreds of thousands or millions of coins can I get with $30, $50, $100 or $1,000. You get your money when you buy Verge or you buy Ripple or you buy Stellar and things like that, because you get hundreds, if not thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of tokens, depending on how much you spend on these. It makes it very attractive. But 63% on this cryptocurrency just goes to show this. I say stupidity, but it really does show the stupidity of money in this market. But Verge has been held down for a long time. Dash, kill me, in essence. I have deliberated on getting a Dash Masternode forever, and I never did, and look where it is today. Dash is absolutely killing it. This a month ago today was $63, and where it is now just makes me feel sick, in all honesty. You know, anyway, didn't get it. Orchid's up 30%. So look, there's some real heavy green today. Real heavy green. Should you be selling into this? Tron is at 3.4 cents nearly. Should you be selling into this? Well, that is the question. That is, I suppose, everybody's question. Because it's getting out there now. Okay, this is The Guardian. This is a mainstream UK media outlet. Okay, it's everywhere though. Bitcoin's price is coming towards the all-time high. As it gets towards the all-time high, there's the euphoria. And this is where the whales sell into. The whales sell into euphoria because they get their buy orders fulfilled easy. And not only that, but you know, they can wait for the crash that comes with some of the selling that they do, and then they can buy more on the dip or buy something else on the dip, having cashed out some profits. So It leaves us in a perilous time. Now, I do remember that the last time we actually hit 19,000 was a video where I said, is it time to retire from cryptocurrency? Funnily enough, the day I posted that was on the 17th of December, the day that Bitcoin literally crashed, okay? So, you know, when there's euphoria and when people are literally so excited, when they're posting gains like this, that is normally the time to sell, or at least have a little bit of a relief or a pit stop, and like just sell and not necessarily look back and think, oh, you know, that was a mistake to sell. Okay, because if you don't sell your entire position, then you're not at a massive loss. So, should you sell today or should you not? This is what I predict to be the bull market cycle we are currently in. Okay, so I showed you this half yesterday. We're currently in here where we've got kind of early, you've probably got, you know, Bitcoin now getting into the press. You're probably going to have people now starting to ask you, should I buy Bitcoin? Should I buy Bitcoin? And you're going to be like, oh, you should. You are probably going to be thinking, oh, I wish you'd have asked me that like 6 months ago. But anyway, you are probably going to be asked. And that means that it's kind of the early public. The media attention is going to come, and then we are going to be what I believe to be the next year. This will be 2021. 2021, I think, will be the new 2017. You're going to see probably DeFi taking a backseat in trends, and you're going to see a new trend, I dare say. New trend. What that is, we probably don't know yet. Just like, we didn't know ICO was going to be such a huge trend in 2017. But something is going to pull this market up dramatically. Okay, something's going to pull this market up, and it will eventually come to a climax. Some climaxes we like, some we don't. This one we probably won't like, because then probably the bear market will begin around about 2022 if we go on the 18 months to 2 year cycle of a normal bull or bear cycle. So anyway, this is where it could get to. Maybe about 100,000. Could be more, could be less. But I don't think we are anywhere near the top. Even if there is a correction at the all-time high, you've got to look at where potentially over the bull market cycle. Could it be a shorter bull market cycle? Could this end in February and then we've got a shorter bear market and then a shorter bull market after that and all? We don't know. That's the only thing we can be certain about in cryptocurrencies, is that we just don't know. All right, we can only guesstimate. And every cycle before the current one has been 18 months to 2 years. So we can only predict that this one is going to be here to stay. Remember, it may be difficult to believe because we are not used to seeing these days. We're not used to seeing the money just flooding in. What we are used to is the prices going down. If it goes up, we have a bit of happiness, and then it all comes tumbling down back to the beginning. You have got to decide your own individual risk tolerance. Okay, so that is what we're going to be covering in today's little slideshow, cashing out tactics. Okay, so this is my personal strategy. Okay, this is what I plan to do. And this is an ongoing exercise. Okay, I have an understanding through my through the app I use, Delta, where I bought things, where I've made multipliers. Okay, so don't necessarily copy this. It's not financial advice. Please do your own tactics, I suppose. So, taking profits. Is something you didn't do this in the last bull market? No, I didn't. Because I can't, okay? So people that say, oh, Suppoman, you should have told us to sell Ethos, or you should have told us to sell, Verge, or you should have told us to sell BitDegree, or whatever. I can't do that. If I do that, and particularly not back then, probably now it wouldn't be as bad, but back then, I was one of the top 3 YouTubers. If I would say, sell your Ethos today, like, it would have crashed and burned inside a week, okay? It wouldn't have been a slow death, it would have been a very quick death. I can't do this, it's not. As an influencer in the space, if I should do this, it's very irresponsible, and I cannot be seen to be moving markets anyway, right? So I'm not going to be doing that. So each and every person is a solo game, as I've said to you. It's you versus everybody else. You have to have a strategy in mind, but this should hopefully give you a little bit of a starting point. So what is the point of taking profits? Like, is it just you just cash out anything because you've made $78,000 in a day? No, not necessarily, because there's an objective to taking profits. Why do you want to take profits? Ask yourself that first. Is the objective protection from a red day? Is it to offload bags that you don't want? Is it to buy another cryptocurrency? Have you seen something that you were like, oh, I wish I had the money to invest in that? But if you sell off one of your bags, you can invest in it. Or bills, your ongoing bills. Have you over-invested and do you need money for bills? These are the reasons to take profits. Now, protection from red. How do you know that there's going to be sustained red? Even if there's a 2-day correction and things should go down 20% or something, then how do you know that over the next week through Christmas and then the new year that it's not going to go up dramatically? Okay, so you have to be clear in your mind. What is your objective for selling for profits? What is it you're going to be selling, and what are you selling it into? Bitcoin or USDT? We'll talk about that more in a little bit. So what's your objective? And is that objective pressing? Do you need to do it now? Do you have confidence in your coin's fundamentals stroke longevity? Okay, so the coins that I'm largely invested in, in the main, I would say are my top tier coins. Okay, I have belief and confidence in Neo's resurgence, Stellar, Dot, Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and some of my other top picks, right? I've got confidence in that longevity. Some of the lesser altcoins, the more minor altcoins, I don't necessarily. Okay, I don't necessarily think they are going to stand the test of time. I don't think they've got enough substance necessarily to be able to run all the way through next year. So if you don't have confidence in your coin's fundamentals and longevity, and the current rise is too good to be true, then yes, I would consider taking profits. Now, this was exactly the question I asked myself with Ethos. Yeah, it went from 5 cents to $13. It was too good to be true. That was, I implore anybody from the period of July 2017 to January 2017 to find a better return on investment than Ethos. It was way too good to be true. And as such, I thought to myself, I'm selling. I didn't sell it all. I sold 3/4 to 4/5. I think it was over 4/5, just over 4/5. I sold, and I left just under a fifth for, should it go to $40 or whatever. But I thought it was too good to be true, so I sold most of it. Is your current coin's rise, for instance, Verge, is that too good to be true? I would probably say that those kind of profits I would take because the rapidity of that rise was just ridiculous. Now, how much should you take out? So this is my tactic. I take out my initial stake. What did I initially invest? 1,000, 10,000, 20,000. What I initially invested, I will take out of a cryptocurrency at 3 to 5x. I've been doing this and I will continue to do this. Basically, take my initial stake out so that I break even at worst. Break even at worst at 3 to 5x. So let's say for instance, let's just put Suppocoin, all right? Let's say I invested at Suppocoin at 1 cent, all right? When it goes to 5 cents, I will sell my initial stake and let the other, I suppose, 4/5 or 2/3 to basically ride the wave. Okay, so I take my initial stake out, I break even with that initial stake, and I let the rest ride the wave. You break even at worst, and at best, millionaire status. And then what I do is I go for the big multipliers. If you've been watching me for 3 years, nothing has changed. I go for the big multipliers. Like, big wins and greed is good, okay? Big wins and greed is good, and if you can stick at it, then you can make the big multipliers. I don't see the point in getting into cryptocurrency if you are not wanting to be obscenely rich in a relatively short space of time with relative ease. I did it in the last bull market, and I'd want to do it in the next bull market. Basically, rinse and repeat the same tactics. It worked for me before, it'll work for me again. It's working already. So sell over the coming year, I would be looking to sell at 20 to 100x. All depends, really. It all depends on what's coming up for that coin. I will typically look at how far has it traveled and is it too good to be true. If it's not too good to be true and it is kind of in parallel or corresponding with milestones and development milestones and a working product at the end of it, then I will typically keep it. But this is my kind of golden goal, 20 to 100x, and then sell it. It's gone, move on. Okay, move on. Okay, don't get attached to a coin, don't get emotional about a coin. What I've seen over the bear market is that too many people got emotional and they got wrecked as such. Credits being the obvious example, you know. People were just blind. They were so blind, and in the end, they just lost it all. Okay, so yeah, basically, don't get emotionally attached to a coin. Enjoy it. Try and understand what's going on with the community. See what the community is saying. Read their emotions, and use it as a sentiment check for should you sell. Okay, so how do you then take those profits? How do you do it? Okay, so first of all, you either sell into Bitcoin or you sell into USDT. It all depends on your kind of end game. Do you want to freeze your profits and put it in USDT for a dip? Or do you want to just freeze it until you're ready to come back? Or do you want to increase your Bitcoin holdings? This is what I personally did in the last bull market. bull to then bear market, is I increased my Bitcoin positions, and that therefore preserved. It wasn't the best, but not as bad as altcoins. So anyway, how do you take profits? You either take it and bank it via Coinbase Pro. Okay, Coinbase Pro is like it's like a more intermediate to advanced level platform of Coinbase. Coinbase is the absolute beginner. Okay, if you want to do it via Coinbase, it's simple as anything with Coinbase. But Coinbase Pro has lesser fees attached to it. It's probably the one of choice. Other than that, if you really want the easy beginner kind of way, then do it via Coinbase or do it via Binance, but it's with fees. But Binance actually has got a really good fiat gateway. I'd say it's comparable, if not better, cheaper than Coinbase. Or do what I do. Essentially, use an OTC desk. Now, this is really for 10K or more. All right? So you want to be looking at a provider of OTC selling. Basically, they will buy your Bitcoin off of you at a decent price, and they literally just give you the fiat in your bank. Okay, so you can either use something like local Bitcoins. There's a service called Genesis Block, which is what I use, and these are guys that will buy in bulk from you, and they'll just deposit the money. It doesn't matter what currency really it is. They have clients, and they have the ability to give you the money in USDT, USD, GBP, whatever your country's currency in. And something you definitely got to consider is tax implications, okay? So when you are doing short-term trading, let's say you've bought something in the last few months, if you then sell it, that is considered by most countries where you do have to pay tax on cryptocurrency, and I unfortunately live in one of them, then that is classed as a short-term trade, and that is classed as income tax, right? Which is 50%. Now, if you're going to be selling for profit a lot, and they are short-term holds, you are liable to pay a lot of money in tax. Okay, the income tax could be absolutely massive, 50%, right? This is why I don't do a lot of trading, really, because of tax implications. If you live in Singapore or Bahrain or Dubai or even China, because I know box mining is fine, then you don't have to pay taxes, or very little tax, like 5% or something. But long-term holds are a year or more. If you sell something you've held for more than a year, that is classed as capital gains tax, and that's 20% or 19% or something. So anyway, yeah. So consider taxes when you are profiting, okay? Because in this period, I personally think, for instance, with my Ethos profits, that you've got to make it worth it if you've got to pay a tax on it. Okay? If you've got to pay a tax on it, then you've got to make it worth it. Right? So that is what I would say. And if you do it too often, if you do too many sells, and you do have to report this to whatever your tax office is called, when you do report it, you could end up paying more in tax than you've made in profit. So you've got to make it worth it. And in my personal opinion, if you have to pay tax in your country and you're below the tax threshold, so in this in the UK, it's £12,000 or something. So if you're dealing with small money, then it's not a big deal. If you're making some additional for for bills or whatever, then you should probably be under that threshold. So it won't be that big a deal. But if you're building your retirement fund, having to pay a lot in taxes means you essentially throw away your retirement fund. That is if you actually report it. So Mexico. So what are you guys thinking? Bear with me a second. I'm still live. Okay, good. I was worried there. I was worried I actually wasn't live or something was wrong. So anyway, yes. So I am keen to hear what you guys have to actually say about this profit pit stop, as I call it. Are you personally going to be cashing out? Or are you sticking it with it for the long term? Something that you've got to bear in mind is that Bitcoin and altcoins are actually still extremely low in terms of relevance, in terms of trending at the moment. They're extremely low in relevance. So if you are taking out profits, then is that with a position to swing trade? Is that with an intention to sell so that you can buy more when there's a dip? Or are you actually going to cash out and move into something else? Because if that is the case, then seriously consider where we are in the relevance of cryptocurrencies at the moment. Right, let's take some questions on here because I actually can't find the video. YouTube has actually been very annoying recently. I can't find most of my videos once I've uploaded them. They just disappear. I don't know why. I don't know where they go, but it is very flipping annoying because right now I can't actually find my stream anywhere. So there we are. Value of inflation. Thank you, Lindsay. Super, what do you think of Falcon Swap? I've never heard it. 20% long term, 80% cash out. What does that mean? A 20% long term, 80% cash out. All still very much at the bottom. Crypto preaching Pedro. That's what I personally believe. But, okay, there's no guarantees in cryptocurrency. All right. But I don't think that the euphoria has started. I think what we're getting at the moment is like bite-sized excitement. It's like teasing. It's like this is like what you can make if you stay in cryptocurrency. Like it's just flashing it's just teasing at the moment. So the newbies get in and they get a flavor. Remember, I joined cryptocurrency 2/3 of the way through the last bull market. Okay, and I made life-changing money in that last third. Okay, now we're currently in the first third of this bull market. So, or should be, in which case, the money ahead is just it's salivating to think of. Your mouth waters when you think about what your portfolio could look like at the end of this period. Hence why I'm not really keen on cashing out, unless, because somebody's just said car vertical, unless I think that something was a bag of shite, I wanted to get rid of it forever, and now's the perfect time. In that instance, yes, I'll get rid. I'm quite happy to get rid. I still have 75% in Bitcoin. Alts are going down today. Well, they're not, because Bitcoin, let's have a look at the, it all depends on what alts you're targeting. If they're outside the top 100, then I can't really say. But let's look at where Bitcoin is. As far as the top 100, Bitcoin's all the way down here. You know, so alts are definitely outperforming Bitcoin, but you had to really take your positions earlier. But having said that, look, in one day, 61%. So it just shows that there's never really an ideal time to buy. The best thing you can do is dollar cost average so that you buy things on a lower price overall. But when there's a bull market, really, you do kind of have to wait for the dips, and normally the dips do turn into something quite fruitful. Something that actually, I'll talk about it in another video. Bag of shite, lol. Should find another ethos for us before the market takes off here. Well, yes. I mean, the thing is that why ethos was perfection was two things, okay? Well, three things, but two main things. Number one was that it was an ICO, okay? Now, nobody really invests in ICOs anymore because they're not really a thing. It's normally DeFi coins are normally a pre-sale, private sale, and a very small ICO, I guess. But nobody really gets into it. Well, with ethos, it was able to be a people-powered pump, really, because it was an ICO. People got in. It wasn't whale investors. It was relatively unknown. And the second thing was timing. Timing was perfect. Yeah, the entry price with a very low market cap, was tiny market cap. The timing was just absolutely perfect. It came at the tail end of the bull market, which was when the euphoria, it hit megarific levels. Like, it came in like at this point. This kind of constitutes the first third of, or first half of a bull market, and then this is like the last third or last half of a of bull market, is that you have the real enthusiasm builds up really quick, and ethos essentially came out around about here. You know, when the enthusiasm was going, 2017 was a beautiful time, and ethos really kicked up here, and then bang. So the timing was absolutely perfect. So finding another ethos is really not easy. It's really not easy. And I do remember that people would say, "Oh, Superman, you told us not to sell, blah, 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 blah." I did tell people not to sell because the coin didn't have time to breathe. At the point people were selling it at like 50 cents, 70 cents. You know, it's not, I wasn't saying don't sell at $10. I was saying don't sell at 70 cents because you're just missing out. It's just stupid. You're flat tiring the potential of ethos. And then I was right. So I don't care what people say about that. How to cash out from tokens that give you more and more dividends in time because of project growing. How to cash out from tokens that give you more and more dividends in time. Well, it depends really. Like, it all depends on whether it's the end of the road with that cryptocurrency, or whether you are just wanting to get out some profits. In which case, taking your money out of a staking pool or whatever, a network or masternode or whatever, then that actually would work out as not being so fruitful. You know, for instance, if I had a Dash masternode and I sold it, let's say I had 1,000 tokens and then I sold 200 tokens and cashed that out, when 1,000 tokens is what gives me the dividends and it wasn't the end game with Dash, that would just be stupid. So I would personally, if it was something that was where the returns outweighed what I was cashing it out, then I would not do it. Anything others? Unify Protocol, the hidden gem. I tell you what, and I don't know if you think this, but I personally am not a big fan of DeFi coins. I mean, I understand that I've made some money with it, you know, with the whole locking up tokens. I've made good money with it with Yearn Finance, but I don't really like it. I personally don't like it. In my opinion, it's not something I would use as a service outside of crypto anyway. Like, I've got a savings account, but the risk is too high with DeFi. That's the problem. There's too many rug pulls, too much impermanent loss. Like, I don't like DeFi really as a trend. In my honest opinion, I don't. I would prefer, in some cases, to just invest in the, like, for instance, Uniswap, which is an ecosystem that takes advantage of the trend of DeFi, but not necessarily, you know, locking up. I'm not really a big fan of it. I think that what's needed for a new ethos is something that is not really DeFi, or is DeFi but not like Celsius, or where really the benefits are staking. It should be something where you're investing and it's really exciting, but it offers decentralized finance qualities to the unbanked world. So that's why it's so difficult. Sec 100. I have 1k and want to invest and make 10k by January 2021. Can you show me coins you recommend me to buy? I don't have a problem if I lose all my money. I'm ready to take the risk. Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? 1k, 10x. Well, I would say that without giving any financial advice, to stick with the market cap. That's what I'm trying to sort by. Would be to stick with something that's relatively top tier and has a big update coming. And the only one that really I can think of is Neo. And look where that's gone to. That was $15 the other day when I spoke about it. Now nearly $20. I mean, it pales into insignificance to Verge, but I could see something like Verge kind of spikes with Neo in time when it like explodes in January 2021 or so. I actually didn't look at the biggest losers, and they are DeFi, and this is what I don't really like. This is DeFi, that's DeFi, Nexo's DeFi. A lot of the DeFi cryptocurrencies are not doing so well today. Yearn, Celsius. So there we are, Marble Arch. But yeah, but that's the $1 million question, isn't it, at the end of the day? But I said about Neo the other day, you know, the earlier you get it, the better the gains are likely to be, should it actually spike up. What's a good Celsius exit? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not really in it. I don't know enough about it to be able to give you an exit strategy. ADA $1 end of year. What is that? 6-week period? No, it's not. It's 5 weeks now, isn't it? Could happen. when Cardano went from 3 cents to $1.20, that all happened within a month. So you never know. It could happen. But I think the big spikes are next year. Big spikes next year. But it could happen. I think there's a lot of, I can't remember what percentage, but there's a high amount of ADA being staked at the moment, which means that it holds the price firm, relatively. Harry's here. Good to see you, Has. Polkadot will take over. Polkadot has got a good, yeah, and as a result, still bullish on Pulse, yeah. How is Pulse doing, actually? I haven't looked at it in the wake of... Oh, wow. Wow. That's terrible. That's absolutely gotten tanked. Polkadot's also gone down, so maybe there's a relation there. Any other Sphinxiones? It just seems to be in chat. It kind of just people chatting amongst each other, which is lovely. Suppo, do you have any Next tokens? I actually don't have any Next tokens. No, I haven't. I haven't ventured into Nash. In all honesty, not that keen. Yeah, I mean, it probably is a bit of a no-brainer, but next trend. I've said I think that digital identity on the blockchain is going to be a trend at some point. So about energy. I'm not in energy. Energy is a kind of here today, gone tomorrow. Masternodes in itself is kind of here today, gone tomorrow. But because Dash is where it is, Dash is Dash at the end of the day. Dash is like the privacy Bitcoin. So they are going to keep it relevant. But energy was a here today, gone tomorrow. It did really well last year, but it's gone now. Unibright, uni shite, as it were. So you're saying to go all in on Neo? No, I'm not doing that. Okay, so just don't mistake my commentary as financial advice. Super excited you're on. We are so close to all-time high. Like, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. We're getting there. I do think there's going to be a correction not long after the all-time high, and then it's going to go back over, and then I think probably February we're going to be looking at a heavier correction. And then go back up from there. But I think there's going to be a correction. Remember how it works in the investment banking world. They will bring back the price to land a great customer and make a heavy profit from them. I gave you the example in yesterday's video, if you can find it. I gave you the example of how they pull the price back. So it's going to whet people's appetites. When it goes back over the all-time high, people are going to be like, oh wow, Bitcoin didn't die. Oh wow, Bitcoin is actually a big deal. And then they're all going to go into Bitcoin, right? So there we are. And then the price will get pulled back for those clients. So that's how it works. Me as William Windsor, if I want 15k Bitcoin, once it's gone to 24k, I'm going to get my 15 Bitcoin, and so will JP Morgan or whatever. They're going to tank the price, probably get Jamie Dimon to say that regulation's going to make cryptocurrency illegal or something, and then they'll bring the price back. So I see a heavier correction in around about February, March time. So until then, though, I kind of foresee that we may have a little correction as we test new territory, but I don't think that it's going to be a lasting one. That's my personal opinion. The thing about cryptocurrency is that you go one step back, 2 steps forward, and that's what we need to keep doing. In the bear market, it was very much 2 steps back, 1 step forward, but now we are in 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of territory. Any other questions? I'll take 2 more. When you go in on a token, how much do you invest? It all depends on how much upside I see. Okay, so with Ethos I invested 20k. With Linear I invested 10k. In fact, I asked for more. And if I took it out at the height, then that would have been because it achieved about 9x. So it would have been 9x if I took it out of the high. So it depends on how much upside it has. So if it's something that I think has almost guaranteed like dead cert upside, then I'll put in a lot because I'll think wow. But otherwise, probably not a lot. Like I tend to make my big plays in early cryptocurrencies. So a lot of the ones I hold now, I got in early or at a very good price. So that's how much I personally invest. I invest big if I think it's going to be multiplied and multiplied. You wouldn't really catch me putting 1,000 in. I just wouldn't bother. Super, what is the crypto for you? Making money in financial revolution or just making money? Thank you. The crypto for me would be one that solves a pain I feel. All right. So Ethos, or should I say, their white paper solved a pain I feel. Right. So the pain I felt at the time was I used Coinbase, withdrawing, transacting with Coinbase had lots of fees. They only had a few altcoins. They had no real decent wallet. There was no ability. There was no on-ramp for the masses. Okay, so I remember this well. You know, when I brought out my first cryptocurrency course, this course here, there were people saying I can't buy cryptocurrency on Coinbase, right? And I was like, what country do you live in? And it's not a supported country. So I thought Ethos is going to solve that problem. They didn't. Essentially, what I want is a cryptocurrency that solves a problem I personally feel and is very early stage. That is what I like. But at the same time, I won't get attached to it, but I will enjoy it while I ride the wave. What are your thoughts on basic attention token? That is another one, kind of, that I imagine will probably have move up to its next echelon, maybe, in this bull cycle, because where it is now is kind of a massive disappointment. 25 cents. I mean, when this came out, it was 19 cents. I invested in it when it was 19 cents. It went up to 32 cents. I thought it was going to go much further than that, and it's been a big disappointment considering what they've done. The volume's healthy, but it's going to take a lot to move that one up, I think, into game-changing wealth. But you never know. It could happen. So one more question. Let's make it a good one. Why you always ignore Kin? Really? Which coins do you prefer in terms of gains between Ren, Uniswap, BAT, and Kyber Network? Uniswap. For sure. Super. Where's Nina? Who's Nina? I need to take profit to buy a car, but I'm holding on. Yes, indeed, I took profit to buy a penthouse, but probably could have sold it for. I could have sold what I did sell. I could have sold for nearly double now, but you never know. It was a better price than if I'd sold it a year before, so it's all good. Super fantastic digital identity protocol self-key. It's old news. What's your take on Cardano? Will it ever gain traction? Do you believe XRP will reach $10? Let's take on these two questions, may as well. Do you believe XRP will reach $10? Let's have a look. Right, let's have a look at XRP. Remember that cryptocurrency is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar market cap one day, okay? So at its current price, so the circulating supply as it stands, $10 would be, what's that? 450 billion market cap. I think I'm right in saying that. 450 billion market cap. Bitcoin isn't even that. But as we move into the trillions, yeah, it could do that, yeah. I imagine it probably will. Dirty money is what I call XRP. And what was the other one? What's your take on Cardano? Will it ever gain traction? It all depends. It's a slow burner, big team, big load of eggheads from Oxford, Harvard, Cambridge, Stanford, you name it, they've got it. And they require being paid. Okay, and it's a project like any other that needs to keep funded, otherwise it'll die. So they've got the foundation of tons of tokens. So you never know what they do with their tokens. That is what stands in the way. But otherwise, as a project, probably one of the best. Probably one of the best out there. For sure. Yeah, I've been I was an early Cardano evangelist, so you all know I'm a personal fan. Anyway, I think that is it. Do you have any advice on how to declare the tax when pulling out? You just let your accountant handle it. That's what I do. So I pay them decent. Is because they're the ones that do that stuff for me. You've just got to provide them with the data. You've got to provide them with addresses. All this stuff. It's ridiculous. I really do wish that I lived in Dubai or somewhere tax-free, because life would be... I'd have so much more money. Suppoman, would you use a service from Nash without being invested? Probably not, no. I don't think I would use Nash. Simply from the point of view that I don't really use cryptocurrency platforms. So I'm not really an adopter of these platforms. Thank you, Lisa. I love bringing live videos. Morpheus Labs. Head in hands moment. Right, okay, I think that is it. So, thank you very much for your questions. I've loved them. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it's helped. And I will see you next time. But people, beautiful times. Beautiful times require celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. I will. Anyway, people, love you being here, and I will see you of the next time. It is lights out, all out.